Do you have a hijacker on your listing? Have you checked your Amazon listing and found that somebody else has got the buy box or is just listing another offer on your product detail page? Well, let's just make sure first that we are talking about a hijacker, and then let's get rid of that hijacker and protect the integrity of your brand. Hi, I'm Callie from Private Label Australia. I'm here to give you real policy compliant advice on how to create your brands, create your products and sell them on Amazon. Many sellers who complain this time of year about hijackers don't actually have a hijacker on their listings. More often than not, they have a compliant offer on their listings. But to understand this, we first need to understand how product detail pages are created on Amazon and how offers are listed. So let's go to a product detail page on Amazon.com. I've chosen this listing as an example, and if we take a look at the listing, we have two parts of it that are important to its ownership status: the brand name and the seller's name. The brand name is always at the beginning of the title. This is something that Amazon has implemented and does reinforce. And the other place is right under here in the brand name field. And you'll see that if you do click on this particular link, it will take you to the Utopia Towels store, because Utopia Towels is the name of the brand. So Utopia Towels is also the name of the store. Another thing that you'll notice is that this product ships from Amazon, but it is sold by Utopia Deals, which is most probably a private labeler's seller's name, so the name of their seller account. If you go a little bit further down, you will see that there are two new and used products, and these are the actual offers on this listing. So if you click on this link here, this is where it takes you, where it shows you that yes, Utopia Deals is one of the sellers, but also, and in this case, Amazon's Warehouse is another seller on the product, and they are selling an item with original packaging, but the packaging will be damaged. Now, it could well be that there are more sellers than that on your particular listing, but in this case it is just the private label seller and Amazon's Warehouse. Now, if you go to that view on your product, you need to figure out where these offers are coming from. And the answer is they're coming from multiple places. Now, the important thing to remember is that Amazon does allow anybody to sell products that they have in their possession. So if I own an Apple Mac computer, I'm within my legal rights to sell it as a used product. Amazon does sell products new, used or refurbished, so I am actually allowed to sell my product. So in this case, Amazon Warehouse, which is a part of Amazon sales channels, is selling a product that they have purchased from the seller on their own listing. Now, this is the correct way to sell a product that you have purchased on Amazon, because Amazon product pages are unique. There's only one listing per product, and then there can be multiple offers on that product. You have to remember that not every seller on Amazon is a private label seller or a brand owner. In fact, for instance, Apple don't sell their own products. They don't have a seller's account on Amazon. Other sellers sell their products on Amazon. Apple just does hold their own rights for all the products, and they do protect them through brand registry, through other legal avenues. They also control the product detail pages, so they make sure that they are reflected well against listings, but they don't sell them themselves. So the offers are from various other sellers and predominantly Amazon themselves. So as a brand owner, you could potentially never have an Amazon seller's account. as a registered brand owner on Amazon, you can absolutely have control of all your listings, but you don't have to have a seller's account and sell your own products. You should ensure that sellers who are listed on your product detail pages are actually selling authentic products that have been legally purchased from you or from any of your distribution channels. So in order to have a hijacker, it's not enough for somebody to be selling a product on your listing. The product that they are selling needs to be inauthentic or counterfeit before you can call them a hijacker or try to remove their offers. In fact, if you wanted to sell the product in this example, you could absolutely do so by going to the add a product link here, entering the ASIN, choosing whether your product is new, used, or anything else. The product, so say that you bought these towels a few months ago, you don't want them anymore, you've washed them, you've put them aside to sell them, you need to sell them on this listing in this way. You search for the ASIN and then you list it against this product. Now in this view, you can just follow the prompts and list the product. As long as you do have the product in your hands and you're able to ship it to your customers, nobody's going to stop you. Your offer will appear alongside any other offers, just the same way as the Amazon warehouse offer is shown here. Now, if you do suspect that you have a hijacker on one of your listings, there are a few things that you can do about it. Firstly, what you would do is check to see if it's one of Amazon's accounts that's selling against your listing. If it's Amazon warehouse, it is probably a product listed as used. They've probably already reimbursed you for an unfulfillable return because the product or packaging was damaged. Once you've been reimbursed, the product belongs to them and they can dispose of it as they please. Another way would be if you have your export settings enabled. If so, Amazon themselves would list against your Australian listing, for example, with inventory that will be purchased from your USA listing once it sells. You will normally find that in an example like that, their Australian listing price is a bit more expensive than your USA listing price, as they have to account for customs and shippings into Australia from the USA. But if it's not Amazon and you suddenly find yourself with multiple offers on the detail page that are cheaper than what your offer is, what you need to ask yourself is if you recently did any giveaways. Now, a lot of the time, sellers will make the mistake of doing a large amount of search, find, buy or other types of product giveaways. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it right now. But they are against Amazon policies, and a lot of the time sellers will reimburse buyers for their purchases with or without fake reviews for their products. These practices are dubious, they're black hat methods. They're usually penalised by Amazon, who often blocks reviews from an ASIN. The worst part is that the buyers who buy the products don't even care what products they are buying. They just do it for profit. And what they do is they relist the products on Amazon after they receive them. Now, as long as the products were purchased from you, they are authentic items that should be sold on your own listing as per policy, because there can only ever be one listing per product. So you can't do anything about removing these offers, and you may even incriminate yourself if you try to do so. So be really, really careful if you've done that. It is against policy. Other types of offers could be that they are a dropshipper on Amazon. Now, dropshippers on Amazon often have Amazon storefronts that incorporate thousands of products. They use third-party software to relist other sellers' offers. When they sell a product, and often those listings you'll find have a markup, so they're at a higher price than your product. The software normally purchases from your inventory, Amazon fulfills the order, and they send it directly to their customer. Now, dropshippers who operate in this way are doing so against Amazon policy. And if you take a look at the dropshipping policy here, you'll see that it is not allowed for a seller to not be identified as the seller when a customer receives their order. And what that essentially means is that when a customer buys from them and their order is fulfilled from your inventory, then the product that the customer receives will see you or your company as the seller of record on that product. That is against Amazon policy. Now, if you do suspect that a seller is selling your products against Amazon policies, you may want to do a test purchase of one of those products, have them sent to your home or to a 3PL that you work with in the United States if you're living in Australia. Then you scan all the documents that came with the product, including the shipping label that it came with, as well as any invoices. If those documents identify the seller as your company, or they're from your FBA inventory and they don't match the other seller's details, you can report the seller right here. So you go to amazon.com/report/infringement and you follow the prompts after you sign in so that you can report them to Amazon. The reason for reporting them would be that they are purchasing products from another online retailer and having that retailer ship directly to customers, as the shipment does not identify them as the seller of record. And that should be enough to get them off your listing. To identify other types of hijackers on your listing, you should check first if the offers are cheaper or if they're more expensive than your own prices. If the offer is cheaper than your price, try to identify if it is somebody who is selling a used product that is authentic, maybe a previous buyer of your product, or if it's a reviewer or a giveaway buyer, somebody that you reimbursed after sending them a product to review. The only kinds of sellers that you should be dealing with are counterfeit product sellers. If you identify a seller who is selling a product other than your own, there could be two reasons for that. One, that they made a mistake. It's a rookie mistake a lot of the time from newbie buyers. They buy the product from your suppliers. The product isn't a unique product. You bought from Alibaba something that is identical on Alibaba. They found on Amazon as well. They saw that it had potential and they listed it against your product, not understanding that because your product is branded with your brand name on it, it is not identical to whatever they bought from the suppliers. Or what they may have done is they may have identified your product as a bestseller and then purposefully listed against it, in which case they are selling a counterfeit and inauthentic product. Either way, you should report a seller like this. The first thing to do would be to get a test product, a test purchase of the product. Always use a separate buyer's account to make that kind of purchase. You do want to avoid giving away your name and your account details to the seller. And then once you or your 3PL have received the product, you can report the seller for infringement through this again. If you do have brand registry, then things are much, much easier. Go to brandregistry.amazon.com/brand/report a violation, and you will see that if you follow these prompts, Amazon makes it very, very easy for you to identify a hijacker and to report them. And it's taken me no more than 2 hours to get rid of counterfeit sellers or hijackers from my listings, just using this particular tool. Especially if you've got good reason to report them, identify somebody who can't have a product of yours, and if you've got a test purchase of the product in question. Project Zero removes the need to even contact Amazon or to purchase a product. So if you've had multiple hijackers on your listings multiple times and you've had to use this tool, the next step is to sign up to Project Zero and to then have Amazon gate your products so that nobody can actually list against them unless they have your approval, and will be able to remove them from your listings pretty much automatically. Now, a few things that are a little bit of a myth when it comes to how to deal with hijackers. Never ever contact the seller or send them a cease and desist letter via the buyer-seller messaging system. This is against Amazon's policies. If you go to this link here and you just scroll down a little bit, one of the questions here will tell you that as a seller, can I contact other sellers? The answer to that FAQ: as a seller, you should not contact another seller using the Ask a Question feature on the seller's storefront page. If you need to report copyright, trademark, or patent infringement, see the Report Infringement page. Another thing you should never do is to use black hat methods like systematically buying and not paying for other sellers' inventory. It is against Amazon's policies. Again, you can find that policy right here where it says that attempting to damage another seller, their listings or ratings, allowing other people to act on your behalf in a way that violates Amazon's policies or your agreement with Amazon, all of those things are against Amazon policy, and they could get you into trouble, whether it's you or a friend of yours that is buying up heaps of somebody else's products. This is a black hat method and should never be utilized. If you do wish to send a seller a cease and desist letter, you must use external communication methods. So right now, all sellers must have their details on Amazon. So just search for the seller's details by clicking on their seller name in the listing. And in the example that we've been using, this is their page. It's got their address, their official seller's address, and that's the address that you should be using to send them an official cease and desist letter. Any way you look at it, your best investment for the future of your brand is a trademark and the use of Amazon's brand protections. To take advantage of those, go to these links here: brandservices.amazon.com/IP accelerator. That's a link that allows you to get a trademark and to brand register your brand, get brand registry on Amazon pretty much within about a week or so. I've had a case of getting brand registry within about 48 hours. If you already do have a trademark, then just register your brand at brandservices.amazon.com. If you do feel like you've got a lot of counterfeit products that are listing against yours, the next thing you can do is get on top of the transparency program. And the transparency program will give you some additional barcodes that don't cost very much at all. They're a few cents each, and they identify every single one of your products serialized so that nobody can sell a product that you haven't actually created, that you haven't actually manufactured. Another program that you can utilize is Project Zero. As I said before, this is a program that Amazon has put together for people that very often have to use the report a violation tool. And in that case, what happens is a lot of the time your products will get gated. That means that sellers cannot sell against your listing, or even if they do, depending on what Amazon puts in place, you can get rid of them pretty much with one click. Now, All these programs are tools that will enable you to get better protections against inauthentic sellers on your listings. If you like this information and want to see more, please visit privatelabelaustralia.com.au for more information. Go to our free Facebook group here and just sign up and follow us around and get more information as it comes along, or even subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.